So I'm out today in Alvarado, Texas. I've got a project out here, and I got a call, or not a call, but an email, the dreaded email at 11 o'clock at night when it's raining outside. Storming, actually. So now I did not see it until the next morning, this morning. But when you get a dreaded email like this, letting you know that, hey, there's been a breach of water into the house. In this sake, it's in our shop area. So we're over here this morning troubleshooting this. And I'm gonna basically make this pretty clear. I'm gonna try to make this pretty clear. In our living areas, and this is why it's important for our siding on the exterior to remain siding of a living quarters. But on our shop areas, our siding is more than just siding. So I'm gonna explain to you the two differences. Let's check it out. So this is going to be a beautiful Barndominium here. Now this is our living side over here. This, right at this divide on this side, is my shop area. So over here is where the break, you can see where it steps down right here with the sheet ledge. This is where the zip system ends, right here at this corner, meaning all the rest of this is our shop area. So one of the things that's different about this part of the house versus this part of the house is this part, the black siding is only siding. That's all it is. But on this side of the house where the shop is, this not only is my siding, but it also becomes a structural panel for our insulation, as well as the WRB protection, to create a thermal break from condensation concerns, as well as conduction. So that's what's all going on in this system. Primarily, people build their whole house barndominiums with this system in mind. Now we have this extended system around these areas for added protection with the zip system. But I'm going to show you today why this may not be enough for your living areas and what the concerns might be for the long run. What we were able to determine with our thermal camera, you know, I showed you guys we have these purlins that run on the sides and under the bottom of the window. The issue isn't that we're getting gaps created by spray foam here on this one. The issue is that we've got water that's getting behind this J-trim, which is very simple for us to see why. We don't have our silicone here yet. So we've got a lot of water that's coming in, meaning that the better part of our flashing detail is now moved to the outside. So what are the options here? Well, in standard practice, we could go to putting the zip system all the way down to create a drainage plane or some type of water resistive barrier right here under these windows onto our steel frame before we put the metal, creating protection that would allow the water to go down and out if it gets behind there. What I don't really like about using just caulking to seal is in the event that water still gets in, that means I can have water intrusion at the base. So we're just talking about, hey, what secondary method can we have for added protection? But we're gonna get this taken care of obviously pretty easily. So like I said, this is the shop side of the house. You can see I've got a lot of materials in here. We're still staging. We got a couple more things we got to do, like on the porches. But last night, this is where I got a video showing water intrusion coming in, and it was coming in right over here in this spot, which I was able to determine with my thermal camera. But let's take a look. a lot of water coming in. You've got a whole lot of water at the trough here, still down here. So we're going to do our best to get rid of all that and dry all this out. But this is the area where we had water coming in. Now, we have started adding these purlins on the sides of these windows to have this added protection, mainly so that the spray foam does not ooze out between our siding and this J-trim. Okay? But as you can see, I still had some water coming all the way through here. So what does that mean? For my scenario, because I told you this whole system has to work as one protection, as opposed to our zip system, which has really two forms of protection, right? Because like where I have windows, now if water gets behind the window, it can come down, and you see how we have the seal at the base, so it can come down and out on the outside. But here, if it comes in, it doesn't come down and out, it comes down and in. Now we have this nice little receiver channel at the bottom, which is holding most of that water, but that's not going to be good enough. I would not want to have this water inside my finished living quarters, let's say for a living room, so to speak. Now you're creating water inside the house. So this is one of the crucial reasons why we like to use the zip system, because it gives us that added step of protection. Our failure here on this particular case is not sealing around the J-trim, because water is still allowed to come in that case. So we're going to be sealing around all the windows today and all the penetrations. But I did want to share with you that distinct difference between how our siding is being used in different ways from the shop to the living areas, and why we do what we do. So we're gonna really consider some other things that maybe we can do in these scenarios where we don't have just one form of protection. But hopefully that helps explain a little bit to you guys why we tell you use the zip system. All right, guys. So to show you, basically the guys have been going around putting a nice bead of caulking all the way around the outer perimeter of this trim. So you can see this is how we're going to combat around these areas. So also at the top, we're doing some sealing up there as well. Now on this side of the house, this is our exterior walls of our living quarters. So let me find one to show you. So this is our window seal, or not window seal, but our J-trim that goes around the window. Now, why do we not have water that gets into the house here? Well, because underneath this area, this is the zip system. We've got the windows sealed and flashed all around these areas. And you can see we don't even have this sealed yet. So when you're used to that type of sealing around these areas, you become a little bit numb to concern about leaks around your windows. We don't always have windows in the shop, but when we have windows in the shop, we have to go to extra methods for sealing those windows. But in the living areas, we're actually going to seal around this J-trim right here, just to keep that initial water from getting between the zip and these panels. But the zip system is working very well in these scenarios. But in the other situation with the shop, where now my siding is not only siding, but it's part of the insulation and WRB, that's where the problem falls. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. We're nearing completion on this house, and we have not had a lot of rain over the last couple of months, but don't be like us in that sense and wait to seal around those windows, especially in your shop areas. And hopefully you guys understand the value of the zip system, why it helps us so much on the exteriors of our finish or our living areas. So hopefully that helps. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We got a lot more to come on this channel, so if you haven't subscribed, please do that now. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the others. I'm Josh Helm, wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching. Texas Best.